welcome to the Shelly Studio. It is July and time for my monthly art prompt challenge. If you're interested in trying to create an art journal page with the prompts, they are posted in my posts in YouTube, formerly the community page. I think it's called post now. It's hard to keep track of the changes, but the colors are charcoal, sun glow, and sky blue. And I just used the closest I had. And that's, don't go buy anything. The first art prompt is add book text. And I have this old dictionary that I bought at a thrift store for like $1. And haven't used it for a while. So I thought I would look up mushroom. And that's like one of the pages that's already missing. So I found the page that had chanterelle on it and circled that, though it gets obliterated. Like, I tried to keep it from disappearing, but I forgot when I was doing my stenciling and covered up the word chanterelle. Well, you can kind of see it if you look really closely. And I'm just taking off the extra white and the headers on the page that I'm gluing in. And I'm just using a glue stick this time. I do like that better. Like, I've been doing matte medium, like on the collaging elements, which is fine, but I do like how smooth my page ends up when you just do the glue stick. But you have to be very generous with the glue stick and make sure it's completely covered. And the glue stick I'm using, in case you're interested, is GLOO. And the rest of it is in Chinese, Japanese, I don't know. But, yeah, I saw somebody using it, and so I tried it out. And it smells like baby powder. It's really weird. I like the squareness of it, so you can get right to those corners without getting too much glob over the edges, which is nice. I'll put the Amazon link in the description box below, just in case you're interested in looking at it. It's not cheap. But it's that or Yoo-Hoo. I like the Yoo-Hoo too, and it's not cheap either, so. If you can get that in a store near you, go for it. I don't see either of those types of glues in any of my stores nearby. Alright, I do have this sped way up because the total video time was like almost 2 hours. And that was the recorded time. And I think that was after editing. Might have been before editing. I do put a layer of gesso down just to mute out the words and stuff. And I have this really thick, I store it upside down because otherwise it doesn't come out easy. So now I've got it everywhere. Because it comes out in one big glob. I add a little bit of matte medium to that to thin it down. And then I'm going to just put a thin layer all over the words just to kind of mute them back. They're still readable. They're just not the dominant thing. Oh yeah, and I just use my left side page to clean off leftover paint, and I had some excess gesso got on my hands and stuff. And so I just put it over there. I do go around the circled. At this point, I haven't forgotten about my circling the word chanterelle, mushroom. So I avoid that at this point. So the second prompt is add color through a stencil. And, the words for inspiration were mushroom, small, and update. I just use a word generator, and it generates 3 words, and I liked the mushroom word best, So I'm just going with mushroom. And I had found a quote, and it talks about let your dreams break through obstacles or whatever. So I went with a stencil that is swirls and stuff, so that kind of looks like dreams or imagination or something. And I'm just going to go with one of my colors to do the stenciling. And this is a Master's Touch Sky Blue, so it actually matches the name of the color from my color randomizer. And I have a little app on my phone that is a color, like random color selector. You spin it and a color comes up, and that's how I decide what colors I use. If the color is exactly the same as previous ones, I will skip it and do another one. So I've used gray before, but not charcoal. I've used several different yellows, but not Sunglow. I think yellow orange from last month is really close to Sunglow. But yeah, so that's how that works. It's just I just Googled it and found a color spinner and downloaded it to my phone so I could use it. I'd thought about doing those Pantone, I think they're Pantone, color cards that give you coordinated colors, suggestions and stuff, but they were kind of pricey, so I did not buy those. I will find my own color coordinating ideas, I guess. So I'm just holding it in place with my hand, and it's shifting slightly. I'm trying really hard not to let it move. I am noticing that as I get to the back of this magazine that I'm turning into my journal, that divot in the middle is getting thicker and thicker to work around. So how is everyone today? I hope you're doing well. This video is going to be coming out when I am out of town. I'm actually going to be at Moon Lake. If you've never heard of it, you can Google it. They have no internet up there, so hopefully I scheduled this correctly and it all shows up on the 1st. Oh, and the next prompt was draw random shapes. So I drew triangles, squares, and circles, and just filled up all the spaces in between the stenciling with triangles, squares, and circles. And it's a lot of them, so I sped this up even faster, this section. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to do for the draw random shapes. So I just plugged these in everywhere. And I'm just using a ballpoint pen. Actually went to Daiso. They just got a Daiso near me. And I don't know what I was expecting, but they do have lots of fun containers. Like if you want to organize things, they've got a ton of that stuff. They didn't have a lot of pen choices, but I did buy this one. This is a basic Spencer 1.0. It works okay. It works like a regular ballpoint pen. I don't know. Anyway, just thought I'd give it a try. I needed some for work, so I go through a lot of ink at work. I write a lot. All right, so the next prompt is paint using the edge of a card. So I decided I need to add another one of the colors. I wasn't going to add charcoal. So I grabbed some yellow. It was Hippie Crafters medium yellow. it's not as orange as the Sun Glow, but it's transparent, so I'm just scraping it on with a card, just filling up spaces. Just doing what the prompts tell me to do, right? It always amazes me that I can like come up with something halfway decent using random prompts, and they are random prompts. I did for the first 6 months. I did a prompt dice that I created, and I ran out of those. I'd used every prompt for this first 6 months. Oh, the next prompt is doodle your favorite color. Well, my favorite color used to be blue. I mean, I still really like blue, but I don't know that I have a favorite color anymore. And since sky blue was the prompt, I'm using, this is one of the Sharpie paint markers, creative markers, and I'm just going around the edges. It's not much of a doodle with that color. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, about the prompts. So for years I've done prompts, and I would write them down in a notebook. I'd get them from like Mission Inspiration by Mike Deacon. I think he still does it. I haven't done it for at least a year, maybe two. He changed it up to like a weekly thing or something. I can't remember. I could only do it about once a month. That's why I created my own. And before that, there was some other journal prompt challenges, and I'd write them down in that notebook and then do the prompts. So I still had the notebook. I took those pages out, cut up the prompts, folded them up and put them in a bowl, and drew for this month. So some of them were repeats, but yeah, I just tossed the repeats away when I found them. And that's how I came up with the prompts this time. So they're still random, but that's where I got them from. You know, when I did that stenciling, I really thought my doodling was going to be doodle inside those, but I didn't go with that. Oh, and I decided I needed to add some more doodling. And so I was going to outline, and I decided I didn't want to outline all the shapes. So instead, I'm just putting a spiral inside all the circles that I made in the random shape prompt. So I'm just going through and adding that. Makes it a little bit more, I don't know, dynamic. You can see the shapes a little bit better with that on there. And it's still in blue. It's a Sharpie. It's a regular Sharpie in some shade of blue. The next prompt was write a few words. So I was Googling mushroom quotes, and I found an image of mushrooms on a hill, and the hill did not have the quote, but I decided I would put the quote inside the hill. And so this is just a gray sketchbook paper, so it's not white, it is gray, it's just not charcoal. And then I'm going to write the quote in gray on top of it. And I just go through and do penciling first to make sure the words will fit where I want them to fit. And the quote is, like mushrooms pushing through the earth, let your dreams break through obstacles. I thought that was a good quote. That's why I wanted the swirly stencil to make it look like your dreams or imagination or that kind of thing. Look a little trippy, maybe, I guess. And I did speed up this section a little bit to make it, because that is a little more time consuming to write that out. And then, yeah, again, it's a gray Sharpie creative marker that I write it out with. And then once I've written it out, I felt like the gray on gray didn't stand out enough. So I have a real fine black pen that I outlined the words with so that it would stand out a little bit more. I don't show me doing that part just because that was super time consuming. So I didn't even record it. I turned the camera off and did it. Like, I don't even know if you see me write this whole thing out. Because you saw me write it in pencil. So. But I like the hill idea. Kind of good. I actually like how this one turned out. I was worried there, like, with those colors, and I've got to put mushrooms on there. I was like, am I really gonna not use red capped mushrooms? I put a little ink around it just to define the edge. Now the next prompt, oh yeah, my prompts got a little glued on there, weird. It was add metal pieces, and I'm sorry my page is like cleared down and you probably can't see what I'm doing, but I went looking for something metal and I found a key. I kind of liked that. It's the key to breaking free or whatever. I don't know. Key to your dreams. So I just glued a metal key on there. And then the next prompt is add ephemera. So I have some fake ephemera stickers like tickets and timetables and stuff. So I decide that they are going to line the hill kind of as a backdrop, and you can't hardly see them. Most of them, the little tickets aren't, but the rest of it is transparent. So when I stick them on there, they kind of disappear a little bit. But that's okay. They're just subtle in the background. Now, I thought it was funny. There was a ticket to Sydney for some transportation in Sydney. I was there a couple years ago, and then there was a ticket for something in Washington, D.C., and I know I'm recording this early, but I'm going to be there next week. So that was kind of fun, and they were fake, so. All right, so the next prompt is add a focal image, and my focal image is going to be the mushrooms, right? So I just grabbed that scrap piece of gray drawing paper. I sketched out a few different types of mushrooms, and I'm just painting them in shades of gray and blue, and a couple of them get yellow caps. Most of them get blue caps and a little bit of yellow underneath in the, are they gills? Is that what you call them on a mushroom? Anyway, they look like gills. Yeah, just mixing those colors around. I thought about like really mixing them to see what different colors I could get, but I decided introducing green and stuff would probably go against the color challenge, the challenge of this. I don't know. My yellow scraped over the blue is a little greenish on there on the background. Sorry, that was my chair squeaking. It's really old. Yeah, I picked a variety of mushrooms just because I wanted a variety of sizes. And I add splattering for interest. Some of the blobs got a little big, and I don't want to wait for it to dry, so I just pat it off. And yes, my finger is the best blender I have. as my blending technique. Some of those dots are still wet, so they left streaks. So it's almost like a natural gill shape happening under there. And I decide to splatter with some yellow. It matters whether you tap the brush or the brush taps something else. It works a lot differently. So there are my mushrooms. I'm going to let them dry and then cut them out. Alright, so here they are. And I decide I probably should have done this part before I cut them out, but I didn't know I was going to do it. I'm taking that really fine-tipped pen and going around the edges with a little bit of a line to define it. Because I feel like they're going to disappear, right? Because they're the same color as the background. So I thought this would help them show up. It doesn't really, but I did it anyway. Yeah, and I don't make you watch me do all of them. So now I just got to figure out where we're going to put them. Definitely the biggest one on top and working down to the smaller ones. And they look like they're just going to disappear. And I think they do disappear. Just a little bit. And I mean, the camera is going straight down and I'm seeing it at an angle. And as I'm putting it on there, I can't hardly even tell the difference between the background and the mushrooms. You can see it a little bit better straight on like this. And, but I decide work needs to be done to get those to stand out a little bit more after I get them all glued on. I really like my art glitter glue for that fine tip because it just goes down that little skinny spot on the mushroom stem really well. Okay, so there's my main focal image. All my prompts are done, but I feel like I can't see anything. So this is Faber-Castell Pitt brush pen in gray, and I'm using it to shade around. I shade around the hill, and then I shade around all of the mushrooms, hoping that they will stand out a little bit. And I've used this particular brush pen forever, so I don't think it gives off a ton of ink, which is actually kind of good because this is going, some of the area is straight paper, so when you use it on straight paper, it leaves a marker mark. If you do it on paint, you can kind of blend it with your fingers. Just be aware of that. If you try it, you might end up with marks you don't want. I still didn't feel like it was dark enough after doing this. So I take out one of my white, it's a white brush pen, and add some highlights, hoping that that will help the mushroom stand out a little bit. And it is white. Like, this thing is so white. But at my angle where I'm sitting, I still don't feel like it's showing up. So, oh, I have a loose spot there. A couple of loose, those stickers didn't stick well enough. But now I go in and I use that same pen to just outline it again even more, because I really want things to pop. I know some people don't like using that word pop, but I want them to pop. At least stand out enough that you can tell what you're looking at, right? I think I'm messing up my pen. It's got the teeniest little point to it, and it's one of those, probably a felt tip sort of thing. So you can't push with it or you'll break it. So, still at the angle I'm viewing it, I still don't feel like things are showing up. So I just, since it's gray, I decided I would just grab a regular number 2 pencil. I think it's a number 2. That I used to sketch them out. And I'm just adding more shading with that number 2 pencil. And this, I think, they really start to stand out more. At least from the camera view. From my view, where I'm sitting when I'm doing this, I didn't feel like it was enough. Even after I do this. So I think the next thing I do is grab a Faber-Castell. I grabbed the yellow Sharpie to emphasize the yellow, and then I grab a blue Faber-Castell Pitt pen and emphasize the blue. Kind of creates a little bit of shading, makes the mushrooms look a little more round when I do this with the blue. And blending it with my finger, which you can do if it's the marker over paint. So that's what I'm doing there. And then I take one more thing to it. It's a black marker, and I just carefully outline everything, trying not to make it too bold, but then it stands out. Like, you can't miss it now. Anyway, this is my prompt challenge for July. What do you think? Do you like it? I like it. It grew on me like a mushroom. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I love to hear your comments. The thumbs up and comments help me with my YouTube channel. And if you like it well enough and you want to share it with your friends, I would not be opposed, because that helps my channel too. Anyway, there it is. Nice and bold now, right? Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you, 22 Club. I know this one was a long one. I hope you have an awesome day.